can I have another wine?
You're listening to the Giggle Gang podcast.
I don't know what I'm talking about.
If you want it, just come get it.
A Giggle Gang podcast.
Just be myself.
For fuck's sake.
You know, sometimes people pay me to say ridiculous shit, and sometimes I just say it for free.
That's hectic.
You're listening to the Giggle Gang podcast.
I killed some mice before.
Like with mousetraps, or like with your bare hands? You like grabbed them and just fucking squeezed them.
With a broom.
You killed them with a broom.
Yeah, I used to live in this apartment in this place called Kensington Market in Toronto. It's kind of like this old, I don't know, it used to be like an old hippie market in the 60s and counterculture place, and there's still like a lot of artists and stuff there, but it's like really run down.
Like the northern quarter a bit, or like worse?
Yeah, the northern quarter, but mixed with like a Guatemalan street market.
Okay.
You know?
Have you ever been to Guatemala?
No, I assume. I've been to Mexico. I actually just said Mexican. That was like a point of reference I could have easily drawn upon.
Guatemala seems like such an exotic location just to visit a street market.
Guatemala is a funnier word than Mexico.
I agree.
Guatemala.
It's like, and it's funnier in your accent as well. It's like when Jordan Deschamps says a kid trying to make an armadillo, but the way he says armadillo is funnier than the joke.
Where's he from?
He's from Vancouver.
So what does he say? Armadillo?
Armadillo.
Oh yeah.
Like, it's just the most ridiculous sentence. And then his follow-up is, if you saw it in a store, you wouldn't buy it. He's talking about his penis. Anyway, I don't want to do his bits on air.
Yeah.
But I don't want to talk about his bits.
Oh, I know him. He's he's the guy who lives here.
Yes.
And works at the bar where he did the show.
Yeah. You know him.
Yeah.
So tell me why you had to kill these mice with a broom.
Because my roommate's cat would like half kill the mice and then just like leave them in the middle of the living room. Like,
how do you half kill a mouse? Isn't the whole thing of a cat killing a mouse to eat it?
No, they kind of just kill them.
For fun?
Yeah. Well, this is the second roommate's cat I had that like killed mice, and they just leave. So that I have 2 points of like, 2 test groups.
Okay.
And they both
the
of these
test
cats.
Groups cats?
Yeah, or single cats.
Okay.
And they would kill the mice and just leave them half dead. So I'd come in the kitchen or something. This is the place in Toronto. And there'd be just a half dead mouse on the ground. And then I just take a broom and smash it. Like, you just gotta put it out of its misery. You know what I mean?
So was it like moving around?
Yeah.
Like, oh, please save me. And you were like the only way.
What are you gonna do? Are you gonna nurse it back to health? There's a million of them living in like below the floor, right?
Is there like a proper problem with mouse in Toronto? Because there's like a big rat infestation in New York, and I think Chicago has a big rat problem. There's more rats than people.
Yeah, I'd say that's more mice in Toronto. Lots of mice everywhere. Almost every old building is just probably infested with mice and cockroaches.
Why do you think that is? What happened?
Well, mice just breed so fast that there's no way to exterminate them. Actually, do you know Alberta, the province of Alberta?
Yes.
There's this thing called Rat Map of the World. Like, someone made this graph of the only place in the world that don't have rats, and it's the Arctic and Alberta, because Alberta has this anti-rat legislation from the 60s where there was no rats, and they were kind of moving in from the surrounding provinces in the United States.
Yeah.
So they have this program where if like you see a rat in your house, basically a SWAT team of like rat killers will come and like kill the rats, and they have like border patrols for rats and stuff like that.
Do they kill them in such a way to deter the other rats? Do you reckon rats are smart enough? Because rats are pretty switched on. Like, if you see like SWAT team rock up, there's like sirens, everything. It's like rat patrol. All the other rats are like, fuck, man, we better get out of here. And then they turn around and go back. Imagine it's like, the US-Mexico border.
Yeah, exactly.
Big song and dance to sort of deter
They take their rat babies and put them in little cages and...
Really?
Yeah.
That is hectic. So do the taxpayers pay money to keep the rats out of Alberta?
Yeah, and now there's no rats. So if the plague ever happened, it would be like the only place that would be fine.
Would you be happy doing that job as a rat SWAT team member?
Well, it's a government job, so they probably have pensions.
I love how that's your thinking.
Like, if you had to kill rats for a living, that probably wouldn't be so bad.
Do you guys not have pensions in like regular jobs?
There's like the Canadian pension plan, but it's like, it's not really significant. It's
Like
not
it wouldn't
significant.
support you if you went out of work.
Yeah, well, that would be unemployment insurance.
Well, if you stopped working, sorry, you retired.
Yeah.
You wouldn't want to just live off that.
No, it wouldn't be enough to live off.
Really? So what's the point of it if it's not enough to live off?
Well, I mean, it gives you something. It's like, you'd be poor if you only had your, like, CPP. You could live poor.
You're really not selling it to me.
Well, you got your healthcare covered because it's Canada, right?
Okay.
Except for your teeth. Teeth aren't covered by health plans. So.
Okay. That's where they get you, man. Dentists are fuckwits. Like, in this country, you guys don't know how good you've got it. Like, I've got a bit about how much dentistry costs in this country, and what I cannot fathom is why people's teeth in this country are so just not well looked after.
They're taking it for granted.
Absolutely. They don't even go because it's so easy to go.
I had a friend whose dad made him pay for all the cavities he got as a kid.
That's so funny.
And
where was the kid getting his money from? He's like, you better wash my car, pay for that filler, boy.
Or no presents for Christmas or something. Like he had really strict parents, but he never had a cavity.
Oh my god! Wouldn't he have got one and then like tested the water and then
$400, $500 to like?
See, for me, I would have had to have pushed the boundaries. I would have been like, they won't make me pay for it, and then it would have got there, and then I would have been paying for it.
And you'd be like, oh, my teeth. That's when like most parents would be like, oh, we gotta help our baby boy. Like really take somebody like really
spiteful,
cruel, yeah, to be like, just suffer with that. Go get a part-time job, and then maybe the pain will go away.
You're like 7 years old,
yeah,
sweeping up dead mice for the government. And every sweep, you just grab your tooth.
Okay. Here's the best story about killing a mouse.
Yeah.
So I was like putting on my shoes. This was at this like mice infested apartment.
Why are you living in such shit-holes?
Because it was right downtown. It's like a great neighborhood. It's like the coolest neighborhood in Toronto, or like one of them, right? And it's just like in the middle of the downtown core. And the rent was only $1,200 for like a 2-bedroom apartment. So It was like huge, but it was just full of mice. And
are you setting like traps like everywhere? Like are you just setting traps for
we had the cat. The cat would kill a lot of them, but it was out of control.
Okay.
So and they were going to condemn the building we were living in after our lease was up, so they weren't doing anything.
You're living in a place that's on the brink of being condemned, and they're rinsing you for $1,200 a month.
Oh no, $1,200 is good though.
Okay.
That's good for like a mice-infested den downtown. That's like, that's a score.
Oh my god. I bet it was.
They probably gutted that place and rented it out for like $5,000 now or something.
Really?
Yeah.
Just because of the location?
2-bedroom, downtown, yeah, for sure.
Okay.
So I had these boat shoes, right? Like the kind you don't really wear socks in.
Yeah.
And I put my foot in my shoe, and I felt something squishy, and I like squished up on my toes. I'm like, what the fuck is that? And I took my shoe off.
You think it was like half a sandwich or something?
I thought it was a clown's nose or something like that. Or like a Nerf, like a little Nerf, some kind of stupid toy or
like
something.
Like a little Nerf bullet.
But it was like a living mouse, and I like broke its legs.
Oh my god.
Like its back legs. And I just remember...
With your big fat Canadian feet.
Yeah, just crushed them with my toes. And then it got out, and it was like kind of crawling across the floor. Like this, and I was like, oh god, and I was like, I gotta go kill it now, right?
Back to the broom.
I wanted to get the broom, but it managed to crawl its way underneath the radiator and disappeared. So probably died a horrible death.
Went to Mouse Hospital.
Maybe there is. Maybe it's like I was like killing them, and I could have just swept them back into a hole, and they would have been nursed back to health. They'd probably just get killed by the other mice, right?
I don't know. Like, I don't know enough about
probably
mice.
Murder them and eat them. That's how I imagine mice societies like.
One of my favorite questions on this podcast is if you could be any animal, right, but you're still Nick Martinello, you're just in an animal's body, what would you be? And while you think about it, I'll tell you the answer of Brandon Craig. He said he'd want to be a mouse, right?
Yeah.
Because he can still think, and he wants to get a little like hole in the wall, but create like a little house in there. So get like a bottle top and like a little like corkscrew or matchstick, make like a little table and chairs and shit, and like keep coming out. And then one day people are like look inside and be like, oh, this is where he lives, and they'll see like this little mouse house, and that would just give him a real thrill.
So, are you allowed to have like supernatural powers in this?
No, you
fantasy?
just have your own mind, but you have the bodily capabilities of a mouse.
So you wouldn't be able to do any of that stuff without opposable thumbs. Like, so
He's not operating a drill.
well, look, a little chair and stuff and decorations.
He's just hanging up a fucking like an aluminium tab off a can
Yeah.
on the wall as like a centerpiece.
You definitely want to maximize how like well you're being taken. Like,
I would want to be a dolphin.
dolphins are good, but the ocean's dying. So
Yeah, but dolphins are cool, man.
yeah, but do you like? I'm just imagining you just get fucking caught in one of those nets from that.
No, I'd be like a dolphin, like off the coast of where I grew up,
Okay.
like near Tangalooma, and I know those dolphins have a sick life because I've like gone out and had a look at them, and they're just fucking around out there.
I'd probably be like an invasive species, something that
Mold?
like a cane toad or something, because
What?
Some
Do you have cane toads in Canada?
no, but I'm
Oh.
thinking like a moose or something.
How do you know about cane toads?
I saw a documentary about them.
About the ones in Australia?
Yeah.
I think they're only in Australia. They're the worst things. We used to kill them with golf
Yeah.
clubs, right? So you get like a golf club, it has a cane toad there, he's like, ribbit, and you just try and smack it over
So
the
that
fence.
is, so I'm a monster for killing mice, and you're like
Toads are
hunting toads?
disgusting, bro. They're poisonous and they're disgusting. But we lived, like, our house, our fence backed onto a main road, so our backyard was here, house was back here, so we could just walk around the backyard, find these cane toads, and just smash them over the fence onto the main road, and hopefully they'd hit a car.
Wow.
Exciting, I know.
So did you ever feel bad?
Not really. The one time I did feel bad is when I had to watch, because obviously once you've smashed something with a golf club, it's like out of sight, out of mind type thing. But you could actually make them explode if you poured table salt on them. So this one time we got one, and we poured table salt on his back, and we literally just watched him. You know, like those chocolate bars that you put in your mouth, and it's like snap, crackle, and pop, and it's
Yeah.
like popping away in there. It was just like that, but with its skin, like in front of us. And then so like while it was popping, we just got the golf club because it was just all just got too real, like right in front of you.
It would
like,
actually explode.
like pop, 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 and like its skin's like evaporating.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, it's
Wow.
very fun.
That's insane.
But like,
Do you ever feel bad because it's like a sentient being?
I don't know. My girlfriend's probably not going to be that thrilled with this chat because she's like Buddhist, so like no harm to animals or anything. But I obviously don't do that now. I'm in England. I don't have a backyard.
Right. You gotta. What do you kill? Fox around here or something?
I haven't killed.
I don't see many animals.
I know. The only animals I see are the people in the streets.
Yeah, there's plenty of those.
How long have you been here for?
I've been here since January 30th.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
So not long at all.
No.
Oh,
And I got to
wow.
go back to Canada soon too.
Why?
I'm doing like a comedy festival and stuff.
Is that the CMC?
No,
Oh, is
the
that
Halifax
everything?
Comedy Festival.
Okay.
Yeah.
Were you involved with CMC though?
The-
I don't know what CMC is.
No, I don't know what that is. CMC,
Canada, Montreal Comedy?
just for laughs.
I don't know. I could be making it up. It's probably not even a real thing.
CMC.
Maybe I'm making the whole thing up. Maybe it doesn't even exist.
Yeah, I don't know what that is.
There's no such thing as comedy. So where did you grow up? Did you grow up in Toronto?
No, I grew up in Nova Scotia. I moved away when I was like 23.
Really?
Yeah.
Describe Nova Scotia to those that don't know.
It's on the southern Atlantic coast of Canada, in the Maritime provinces.
Yes.
So it'd be,
Is it the bit just above New York?
yeah, it's a little bit that sticks out, and
Yeah.
then there's like it's like a peninsula that sticks out, and
Yeah.
then Boston is like parallel to it.
Yes.
So it means New Scotland. So it's kind of like a lot of like highlands and.
Was it discovered by the Scottish?
Yeah, it was settled. Well, it was discovered by the French or the.
But they speak English there. It's not part of French Canada.
It's close, but they there's this thing called the expulsion of the Canadians, where they like the English went to Nova Scotia and then kind of rounded up all the French people and sent them to New Orleans, and that's where the term Cajun comes from, because it's like Cajun.
Like Cajun chicken?
Yeah.
Okay.
So all the French people in Louisiana were sent there by the British from Nova Scotia in like the 17 or 1800s or something. So that's where Louisiana Cajun culture comes from.
So the British literally just fucked everyone up and just moved everyone around for their own enjoyment, basically.
Yeah, so like the province above Nova Scotia is French still, but like Nova Scotia is English.
Interesting.
But it's settled by a lot of Scottish people.
So is your accent that different to people from Toronto, or your accent now?
Yeah, people in Canada say I gotta have a different accent.
Okay.
I'd have a different accent from like Toronto or Vancouver.
Yeah, you definitely sound different to Vancouver.
Yeah.
And I don't know where Brad Brines is from, but I think he's from like the Yukon or some shit, like crazy place.
Oh, that's not even a place.
Isn't it?
I think there's like 60,000 people in a place the size of Europe. It's like, when you're dealing with those kind of things, it's like, that's not a place.
It's not a hub.
It's kind of just a settlement. Do you know it's like in Antarctica where they have outposts with like just scientists live there? And
just
you're like,
six people.
Yeah.
One woman that drew the short straw.
Pretty much the same thing.
Out there just Arctic fucking.
Yeah.
Trying to get a hard on in the freezing cold.
I think 100,000 is when a place becomes a place. You know what I mean?
That's pretty generous.
Yeah?
That means like, what's Manchester? I don't even know.
I don't even think Greenland has 100,000 people.
You're really baffling me with all this geography.
I really love geography. It's like my favorite.
Let me look on a map.
I think that Greenland, I think it's like, I could be wrong, but it's like 80,000 population.
Are we looking at the population of Greenland?
Yeah.
Okay. While I do that, tell me about, were you from like a small town or?
No, I'm from Halifax, Nova Scotia. It's like...
Is that like the biggest place?
Yeah, on the East Coast, yeah.
Okay. And like when you went to school, was it like typical? I want to say like American high school, like High School Musical is my only experience with it.
Okay,
like,
do you know the show? I'm from this place, I'm from the part of Halifax called Dartmouth. You know Trailer Park Boys?
I've heard of them, but
that's where that show was conceived and set.
Okay.
So it's a little, it's like kind of like Manchester vibes, where it's kind of like trashy, but friendly, I guess.
Trashy but friendly. I've got the population of Greenland for you.
Yeah.
What do you think it is?
I was gonna say, I'm gonna say somewhere between 90 and 120,000.
It's 56,000.
See, it was I even over yeah.
They
56.
only just beat out the small island nation of the Faroe Islands. Do you know where the Faroe Islands is? Between Iceland and Denmark, I think. Mm-hmm. Somewhere there. Anyway, we had an exchange student from the Faroe Islands come and live with us when we lived in New Zealand, right? So he was like my first experience to someone not from New Zealand, and this guy was weird.
Yeah.
He showed us, originally, he was like, let me tell you about my country. Put on a video of them whaling, like properly catching whales, using boats to like herd them into the shore, and then as they got in with spears, stabbing them.
Was this like new footage?
Like that year, maybe?
Oh, wow.
This is like maybe 2005?
I thought this guy was just making you watch old whaling videos from the 1900s.
But it was like, it would be like, they'd be like, oh, it's whaling weekend. And everyone's like, oh my God, get in your boats. Like, it's whaling weekend. And all that week, it's like the biggest thing in the town. Like, we're whaling this weekend. You coming whaling? Yeah, we're going whaling. Obviously, not speaking English, but speaking Faroese. And then they'd get out in the boats, they'd get the whales, they'd like chop them up, get them on the beach, cut them all up, and then everyone's eating whale for like the next 2 weeks.
That's
insane.
That is insane. It's their tradition. Maybe there's enough whales to do that. I don't know.
There seem to be a lot of whales, but like I don't know where they found them, because like all the video showed was like these boats traveling behind this herd of whales. So obviously they've got to like go out and find the herd, and then like they maneuvered the boat so like they wouldn't go this way, like sheepdogs herding sheep.
That's they spent so much time doing that when they could just go to the grocery store. You know what I mean?
There wasn't that many grocery stores. Like it was very.
Hey, have you guys heard of a supermarket? What are you doing this for?
You're what's wrong with this world. You're the reason that factory farming is damaging the environment. Why did you just go to Walgreens?
Yeah. Factory farming, at least we're not eating whales anymore. Imagine if every night you had to go to that canal and catch a fucking marine creature and eat it.
I've seen people fucking doing it, man.
Exactly. Those you look down on those people.
I definitely do. I'm trying to find where Halifax is. Oh, there it is. Dartmouth.
Dartmouth is kind of like there's like a harbor and there's one city on one side and the other city. So Halifax is really nice.
Is that like beach coastline?
It's kind of like rocky, craggy sort of coastlines. It's like you go swimming, but there's like a lot of weird seaweed and it's really cold.
Okay. Does it ever get warm?
For like a month, it'll be warm enough to like swim comfortably.
Oh my god!
But a lot of people surf. Most of them wear like wetsuits and stuff like that. So there's a couple parts where they get like water jet streams or whatever from the south where the beaches are pretty nice. But I never like the beaches there.
You're not really a beach guy?
No.
Not very many Canadians are beachy.
Yeah, there's like people. My friends of mine are, but it's just like
you guys fuck with lakes a lot, though. Hey.
Yeah, lots of lakes. I don't like lakes either. I like a pool, man. To be honest with you, like it's like
a pool inside.
Yeah, a pool inside with like chlorine and everything's like clean. That's way better than any beach in the world.
I like a pool with chlorine. You're the one guy there, like drinking the pool water.
I love the smell of chlorine at a pool. I think it's great. Yeah.
Have you ever had like a substance abuse problem with like huffing chemicals?
No.
It wasn't a problem.
I mean, I've done substances. I've never huffed like chlorine or chemicals.
You ever like sniffed petrol or like whiteboard markers?
No, I don't even like that. I don't even like those. To be honest with you, like I like chlorine smell at pools. That's pretty much my like favorite chemical smell, for sure. Because everyone's got like one chemical smell they love. Mine's chlorine.
I don't know if I have one.
I was stumped to think of like what my favorite animal is, but you like ask me like, what's your favorite chemical smell? I'm like chlorine, hands down.
Have you ever like had a house with a pool?
No.
Because I think I was really put off by chlorine. There was one time, so we obviously had a pool being in Australia, and my mum would usually do the chemicals, and she would like measure it out. She had like measuring cups, and she'd put like hydrochloric acid and chlorine, and we put like salt in it as well. Like you'd sort of like move it around and mix it around. And then she was like, "Oh man, I'm going away for the weekend. Can you take care of putting the chemicals in the pool?" And I was like, "Yeah, sure." She's like, "Make sure you use the measuring cups." I was like, "I definitely will." I obviously didn't. I just went to the pool and I literally, so the pool was the above ground pool, so you're sort of like standing next to it, tipping like this. So I just started tipping the chlorine, and the splashback from the chlorine,
oh my god,
splashed back into my eye, right? Full chlorine into my eye, right? I panicked. I dropped the bottle of chlorine into the pool, right? So it's like maybe half of a 10-litre bottle. So you're supposed to put in maybe 500 mils. A whole 5 litres just goes into the pool, right?
Oh.
So I'm like, my eyes. And then to get it out of my eyes, I start scooping the freshly chlorinated pool water into my eyes, being like, get it out. I'm just throwing more chlorine into my own eye. Then I realise what I'm doing. Then because all pools in Australia have to be fenced because people are dumb and kids keep drowning, right? So there's like a big fence around it. So I have to like work my way back around the fence to get to the gate.
Wait, so, is it just a pool area that's fenced off?
Yeah. Okay. The pool, but there's like maybe a gap of like the length of this table between the fence and the actual pool, and it just goes around the perimeter. It's got like little stones on it and shit. So it looks nice. But you have to go around to a certain area to put the chemicals in because it goes into like this box and shit. But I just dropped the whole bottle in the pool.
So did you like just drain the pool?
No. So, gets better, right? I get out of the pool. I find the gate. By this time, my eyes are burning, right? I'm in gross pain, right? I go straight to the hose. I turn the hose on, and I'm just holding the hose like in my eye, just like hitting me in the face. I'm just like, this hurts so much. I literally just rinse my face for like 5 minutes. Then I go back to the pool, and I'm like, I'm going to have to try and get the chlorine out. Managed to like reach in, fish the chlorine bottle out. All the chlorine's gone in the pool. I was like, probably best I don't tell anyone about this because, that's the way to do it. And it was in was at like 3:30 in the afternoon, so it's when I'd come home from school, and my parents weren't home yet. So my mum gets home that night, or my dad gets home, my mum wasn't there, and the next day I come home from school, and my sister's there, and she's like, oh, so-and-so and so-and-so are coming around for a swim in the pool. I'm like, oh yeah, cool. Anyway, they get in the pool. They get the worst burning on their skin you've ever seen. They all just go red. The pool literally burns them alive. These are guests in our home, so not only my sister's injured, but 2 maybe 10-year-old, 11-year-old girls who I don't even know.
Did they all look like Eminem when they came out of the pool?
No, their hair didn't fall out, but like their skin went red, and like they were like, the pool's hurting us.
So it was literally like that episode of The Simpsons when they go like swimming. Did you ever see that one?
I don't think so.
They put too much chlorine in the pool, and like every kid's in there like, and their faces are burning. That's hilarious.
Well, so that was bad, right?
Yeah.
And I think to get my own back on me, because, do you believe in karma? What goes around comes around.
I think everything eventually is going to come around. I don't know where it's going, but like, I think stuff is going to come to you. I believe mostly in misfortunes, so yeah, sure.
It always ends up going bad. This episode brought to you by 3 Mills Merlot box wine.
Is this British wine?
I think so.
It is British
wine made with imported Merlot grape juice. There you go. That's for you. But as I said, what goes around comes around. So I was in a hostel in Hoi An in Vietnam, and there was a cyclone that was basically ripping through. So we got trapped inside this hostel called the Sunflower Hostel, but it was the best hostel to be trapped in because you got a free breakfast in the morning, lunch was like $1, and you got like this big fuck off chicken sandwich with all this salad and everything for $1. It was easy, right? And then at night, you paid $4.80 roughly. This is Australian dollars, so basically the Canadian translation, Canadian and Australian, basically the same, right? And you would get unlimited drinks for 2 hours, right?
Wow.
So vodka, beer, rum, whatever you wanted, unlimited drinks, $4.80. Let's call it a $5, right? Best place to be stayed. So we would just get absolutely fucked off our heads every night. One night, it's pouring down with rain because it's a fucking cyclone, right? The pool's like flooding everywhere, and I'm like, let's get in our clothes, let's just jump in the pool. So me and like 10 other people jump in the pool, and the staff at the hostel are like, get out of the pool, like the pool's flooding, like get out, go inside. And we're like, no, like we're just having fun, just ignoring them. This man who hadn't said a word, right? Angry Vietnamese man, was not yelling, get out. He went straight to the pool chemical shed, pulled out a big thing of chlorine and just started throwing it in the pool, in our eyes, everywhere, right?
Wait. So did he not, was he like trying to get you out of the pool, or is he like, I gotta clean the pool and you're not getting in the way of my schedule?
I think that might have had something to do with it, but I think he definitely could have waited for us to get out. But who puts chemicals in? Like, it was a cyclone. The rain was like pelting down. I've never seen rain that heavy. So it was like a weird time to put chemicals in the pool. He just wanted us out. So he just starts throwing chlorine at us. And like, I've got a video of me and a guy from the Yukon, right? In a shower together, like scrubbing our eyes, just like screaming because this guy just doused us in chlorine.
That's unbelievable. That's crazy. Why would he do that?
He couldn't convey with his words that he wanted us to get out, so all he had was his actions.
Next, he would have just electrocuted you. He would have just got a big cable and put it in.
He was on his way to get a toaster and just throw it in.
That's literally like chemical warfare.
I know. So I've had a bad time with pool chemicals. So I'm happy to be in England where the weather's so shit you never get the opportunity to have chlorine thrown at you.
Yeah.
Or splashed at yourself.
There's a Victorian, like this old Victorian bath place that's really famous here, but it's been closed down forever. Yeah. Okay. No, in Manchester.
Really?
Yeah, it's called the Victoria Bath. And I looked at pictures on the internet. It's beautiful, but it's been closed down for decades.
Really? What happened?
I guess people don't like bathing or something. I don't know.
If you've been on the metro recently. Yeah. It's called the Victoria Baths in Manchester. Building in Manchester, you're right.
Yeah, right.
Here we go. What time is it open? No answers.
I think it's a museum now, maybe, or they shoot movies there.
Support the Victoria Bath. Volunteer with us. History, arts, and restorations. What's on? No, there's no longer any baths there. What happened? Timeline, planning and building, under construction. Okay.
Maybe they're going to reopen it or something. I kind of like that idea of like places where you go and.
People used to play water polo there. This is a long fucking process to get through. It was a sports hall. Campaign against closure. Here we go. So in 1991 it was open. And then local residents tried to prevent the closure of the Victoria Bus, but the council couldn't justify the expense of keeping it open. So the building closed on the 13th of March 1993. The Friends and the Trust were formally constituted later that year. A lot of people got out in the street and said keep it open, but you know, how much love do you have to have for a swimming pool to keep it open?
Yeah, really.
In this country, like, you know, it is what it is.
Yeah, I do agree with you. There's no pressure to like go to the beach here.
No. Do you like it? I mean, it's not too dissimilar from Canada, I would imagine. Like the cold.
No, it's actually nicer. I think I like the weather better here.
That is unbelievable. That is the craziest statement.
It's probably sunnier more in Canada, but the temperature here is great.
Like you don't have the extremes?
Yeah. Well, in like Toronto...
Because I was tossing up between going to Toronto and going here. And I picked here.
Well, in Toronto, like some winters, it'll get down to like minus 35 or 40.
Jesus.
Like one year, there was a heat wave and then a like Arctic vortex or whatever it's called, polar vortex. So it was like in the 40s temperature and then minus 40 in the winter. Like it's not usually that bad, but the summers are super hot and the winters can get really, really cold. So here it's more of a temperate climate and I prefer that.
It's like more like stable.
Plus you get to wear like nice sweaters more throughout the year. You know what I mean?
And that's really important too.
Yeah, I do. I like to wear like you know, like nice sweat. That's why the British people are so well dressed, because it never really gets too cold or too hot, right? So they all.
Yeah, I guess.
It's good weather for a suit.
You have such a different way of looking at it. It is good weather for a suit. Because like suits in Australia, I never understood.
Yeah, no,
like
it's too hot.
Painful.
Yeah, you have to wear like, or you ever see how people dress in California? It's like Billabong shorts and like Oakley sunglasses.
That's what I feel comfortable in. Though.
It
That's
looks like trash though. It's like a garbage look, you know?
I should show you what I used to wear to work. Like I literally would just wear like shorts and a t-shirt with like flip-flops.
Yeah. I lived in Australia for a few months. I have family in Sydney.
Did you really?
Yeah.
Did you like it?
Not really. There's so many people trying to pressure me to go surfing. I was like, I don't want to surf.
You don't have to surf.
Well, I really felt like I had to.
You definitely don't have to. Like, I didn't surf that much.
That much, right? I took a no. That's why when I'm here, I'm not watching any football or rugby. I don't care about those things.
What sport do you follow? Ice hockey?
No.
No sport?
Not really. I watch basketball sometimes. Like, I go to see a basketball game. I think that's the most entertaining sport, but I don't like any sports.
Wow.
Yeah.
Are you proud of that? You seem like you're proud.
I'm done pretending I like sports. Like when people are like, people are always like, you have to go see a soccer game when you're there. And I'm like, why? They're like, well, you have to, you know?
It's pretty shit.
Yeah, I know. They're like, you get there and everyone's drinking and yelling. And I'm like, that sounds like hell. Pretending to be enthusiastic about something I don't care about. That is the worst. It's not only do I not like it, what's going on, I have to pretend to like it.
Do you know where I fucked up? We went to go and see a championship league football game. So not Champions League, the championship, the league below the Premier League. So we're standing in the pissing rain in this freezing cold field in the middle of Blackburn, watching no one score any goals. I can't feel my feet. It's so fucking cold. And then, like, the wind was sort of, like, blowing across us, and that was all right? And then it started to blow into us, and the rain is just, like, hitting your face. I'm watching these two teams that I don't give a fuck about, and I'm ages from my house. 2 hours from my house. It was the worst fucking day of my life. Watching Manchester United wasn't much better, because we paid, like, triple the price got shithouse seats. No one even sat down. They were just up fucking yelling and punching each other. And
Yeah, it's terrible.
it's just insanity.
At least,
And you don't know any of the songs. They're all fucking singing songs that you don't know the words to.
Not even good songs.
I know.
It's not even like, oh, I like this band. It's like, no, some like shit song. Honestly, it sounds a lot like church singing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like those dumb ass songs they have in church.
Do you think this is dumb, but do you think for some people that football is like their religion? You know how people like go to church and they're like,
sure.
oh, I found my home.
Yeah.
Do you think like for like single blokes, even married blokes maybe, they just need an escape? They go to football and they're like, I'm with my family.
Yeah.
We're talking about football. You know, I don't know what accent that was, but...
That was definitely... Like, it would be like more like, oh, it's like football. I don't even know how to do a British accent. Manchester.
You should have it.
Manchester. Isn't that what they're like?
Manchester.
Manchester.
Yeah, Manchester, mate, get down there.
Yeah. They really
Two
drop...
foreigners trying to do a British accent.
You drop an octave down, and
Yeah.
then no emphasis on any word. It's
So-
like Manchester.
Why did you pick Manchester then?
Because I heard that it's easier to get going doing gigs here.
Okay.
So I don't want to work any jobs. So
That's exciting.
yeah,
And how's that gone for you?
it's going all right.
So you still haven't worked a real job yet?
Not since July.
That's so exciting.
Yeah,
And we're in March.
yeah.
Oh my god.
And I think after I'm in Canada for a couple months doing gigs and stuff, I should be able to go, well, like to July at least. So 1 year without having... I do like today I was painting my... the house I live in. So I was doing some work for my landlord, but that's pretty much it. That stuff's fine. Cash in hand.
Yeah.
Go at your own pace, you know what I mean?
You don't really need a national insurance number to do that shit.
Ah, yeah. Under the table. That's what it's all about.
Great that you've said it publicly as well. That's amazing.
Hey, this is a comedy podcast.
I know.
I can't stand by. That's why, like, I registered my name, my like comedian thing as a business. I was like, I did it, and so if your stage name is different from your actual name, this is at least in Canada, then you can't register. Then you have to pay for a business name. So I have a business name that's Nick Marnello, but Nicholas Marnello is my actual name. So I'm not held liable for anything Nick Marnello says, technically. This is all part of the act.
This is all part of your brand.
Yeah, so if I tell you about some kind of like tax evasion or something like that, it's the bit. It's part of the bit. It's part
I'll
of the
give
act.
you the hot tip. I don't think HMRC listen to this podcast.
Really?
Yeah, I just don't know why they would.
Yeah.
You know, they got to wade through a lot of shit to get to the goal. If they're only looking for topics on tax evasion, they're going to hear about you killing mouse with fucking brooms before they get to the goal.
Yeah, that's at least a red flag. Like,
He's a murderer.
this guy has got some loose morals.
So I wanted to ask you, because you've done work in reality TV, what did you do in reality TV?
Well, it didn't last that long. I went to like one of those broadcast journalism television production programs.
Okay. I don't know what they are, but...
Yeah, it's basically like TV school.
Okay,
You
yeah.
learn how to work on the news. Mm-hmm. And then I got an internship. This is when I was like 22 or something. My friend's dad was like a lawyer at a television production company in Halifax.
Okay.
So they got me like an internship there. So it was just nepotism.
Okay.
You know? And then I got
Not
to like,
based on merit or skill
no, not
or
at
anything.
all. I was really bad. I was a terrible employee. That's why I don't do that anymore.
Really?
So I made for like 7 months. I got to like work on all these like TV shows. We were like traveling around, getting like per diems, and we were making this like travel show about Canada. So it was pretty sweet. But then I like moved to Toronto. I got laid off there, and
Because of your unproductivity and just...
just a little bit of that. It's just like I also didn't have a driver's license.
Okay.
Which is
So you weren't really like an
crucial.
asset. to
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
Yeah, I get that.
Which was because we were going to do a show in the Arctic where we were going to film polar bears. And then I was like, we were like gearing up to like go to Israel. But then they were like, we need somebody to drive for these trips. I was like, fuck.
You didn't think about getting a license at that
No,
point?
I still don't have a license.
Really?
I don't drive now.
Fuck.
I don't even want a license at this point in my life.
What do you mean?
Have you seen how people drive in this country? It's fucking insane.
Yeah,
I
this
die.
country, the funniest
What's
thing...
the point?
Well, the worst thing about the roads in this country is not that they're underdeveloped and they don't make sense for the amount of people that's on them. The problem is there's too many British people on the roads in this country.
And the roads are really tight. And you know what? There's not really anywhere worth going that's not in a city. You know what I mean? Like if you have to drive somewhere only, then that place isn't worth going.
I don't drive in this country, but I know how to drive if I need to. And I have a license if I need to. But I
how
don't
often
own a
do you?
car. I haven't driven since I've lived here.
Yeah. How long ago was that?
18 months?
So over a year.
Yeah.
Do you know Marie Kondo?
The girl that
cleaning?
tidies stuff up? Yeah.
They say if you don't use an item for a year to get rid of it. So it's like clearly something you don't need is your driver's license.
I needed to buy alcohol. That's the only time it comes out of my wallet.
Yeah.
Have you been enjoying Marie Kondo? Have you?
I was into Japanese minimalism before Marie Kondo.
Really?
I was on the ground level. Actually.
Explain to me Japanese minimalism, because I've not even watched Marie
It's
Kondo.
those people that sleep on the floor, they just sit on their floors and they're like, I don't have anything and I'm really happy. Yeah, I think that's cool.
Are you
ever see those
actually living that way?
I have very little stuff.
Okay.
Everything I own fits into one suitcase, and I try to keep it that way.
See, that was how I was when I moved here, and it was quite fun. And then since I've sort of started to nest here, I just keep acquiring more things.
Yeah, they just
To try and
creep into your
find
life.
happiness.
Yeah, exactly.
What is the secret?
I don't know. There's a secret, but you just have to limit your consumption.
Just be disciplined.
Yeah, I'm also really not disciplined in a lot of but my room is military clean all the time.
Really?
Yeah.
What are you not disciplined in then?
I'll drink too much, start yelling.
That's why we're drinking red wine at 4 in the afternoon.
I'm shit with money. Well, I'm not bad with money, but I'm not good.
How can you be a minimalist and bad with money? Isn't the whole idea of minimalism that you keep your money?
No,
No?
I think it is maybe, but I'm not at that level.
Do you feel like because you're I don't need a new sweater, I can just go and buy a burger?
No, but I'll buy a really nice sweater.
Okay, I see. Instead of spending £10 on 3 different sweaters,
I'll spend
40.
150 pounds or something.
Oh,
well, maybe
wow.
not. No, that's price conversion.
How
That's
much
too
did this sweater cost?
This was about 50 pounds.
Okay, it's $100.
Yeah, $100. But everything I bought for over $100, I have. But then if I buy something from H&M, I'm like, this sucks, and I throw it away. You know?
So you buy quality over quantity.
Yeah.
Is that how you like to live your life?
Yeah.
That's good.
Definitely.
So I want to get down because you're 26.
I'm 31.
You're 31.
Yeah.
You're so fucking old, man.
I know.
What's happened? Where did the time go?
Yeah, that's a good question. That's how aging works.
Tell me about Nick Martinello as a kid, though, because I imagined you were really well-behaved, teacher's pet.
No, I was getting kicked out of class all the time.
Really?
I talk too much. Yeah, I never shut up.
Just talking, though? You didn't get violent?
No, I was really nice, but I just wouldn't shut the fuck up. And the teacher would tell me constantly throughout the day to stop talking until they kicked me out of the class.
Really?
So I was I remember in primary, kindergarten or whatever they call it here, I just being in the hallway for most classes, just because I just was
by yourself, solitary confinement, but school edition.
Yeah, apparently this elementary school I went to, after I graduated from that level of school, I remember they had this news report where they got in trouble with the Human Rights Tribunal because they were locking kids in rooms, literally solitary confinement rooms.
So the anger that they couldn't take out on you, they moved on to other kids. And
I guess so, yeah.
No way. Did you feel like you were mistreated when you were at school? Any violations of human rights?
I don't know. I just think it was a pretty underfunded school system. So,
and they didn't really know how to deal with you.
Me?
Yeah.
That's a good question.
They just put you out in the hallway and be ugh, out of sight, out of mind, get them away.
Yeah,
they didn't actually be if you don't stop talking, nobody else can learn, and that's inconsiderate. They didn't take the time to actually explain.
No, they probably did that too.
The ramifications of your actions.
Oh, they definitely did.
Okay.
It's not
But you just didn't take it in.
Yeah. For sure.
See, I would get kicked out of class So like I would be talking and they'd be like, stop talking, and then next thing I'd be starting a fight with someone in class, and then I'd have like a full-blown fist fight, and then I'd be kicked out of class or go to like a principal's office or like a room to sit in, and then I'd just smash that up just for fun.
That's crazy. No, I was good.
That's why I was like no violence, because like I was a bad kid, but like if you didn't want to hear what I had to say.
They honestly should have just trained me to be like in a hedge fund or something. I'm like lucky I didn't get a good education, or I'd probably be a white collar criminal. You know what I mean?
What do you mean?
Like just one of those guys who like moves a bunch of money around, and then someone like loses. You know, in the, like white hedge funds and shit like that.
Not really. No.
I could see if I was really good at math, just being able to do all the mental gymnastics to like be one of those horrible business people. You know what I mean?
But why can't you do that now if you have that ability? Or that mindset.
Well, I mean, I don't know what money could do to me. Like if I ever became successful, I might become a monster. Who knows, right?
So, like, what was the worst trouble you ever got in at school?
The worst trouble.
Like was there ever a time when you were like, man, I have fucked up here? Like,
I'm trying to think of like the big moments. I don't know. I just I remember we took the yearbook and like wrote obscenities over everyone's names, like said like fat fuck or like you know, you can't say it anymore, but like fag.
Yeah.
You know, it's the South Park generation.
You can say it, man. It's fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, here it's not a bad word.
No.
We just wrote some really horrible stuff in the yearbook, and we all got it.
Was it accurate though?
Well, I mean, yeah, pretty much.
Okay, that's
well,
fine.
Not really. It was just mean to be mean.
Okay.
And we all got suspended.
Really? So like you wrote it in your own yearbooks, and they suspended you for that?
Oh well, they found like some page we were like writing obscenities on the class, and then basically bullying people through a photo.
But they didn't even know. Like those people didn't know what you were writing in your book. Unless the book was public. Were you handing the book out to people being like, look at what I said?
No, it was like a photograph of like the class. I think there was something like that.
A public photograph up on a wall, and you were like writing on that?
No, it was really weird. They found it and then it fell on the floor and it said everyone's...
Oh, so it became public.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then they kind of like interrogated everybody to find out who did it, and then everyone like ratted on each other.
Were you one of the rats?
I don't remember. But I got in trouble.
That's a classic rat line.
Yeah.
I don't remember. I remember being told by an Irish guy in a pub, right? I don't know how we got onto this, but he's like, if you're ever interrogated by the police, always say you don't remember. He's like, because you're not lying. You're not saying no, but you're not saying yes.
Yeah.
It's like, just say, I don't remember. I was like, I guess, man, I don't think I'm ever going to be interrogated by the police.
Yeah.
But you just say, I don't remember. But now my memory's got so bad that I didn't even remember putting these clothes on. Like, I looked down and I was like, oh, I'm wearing this t-shirt today.
Really?
Like, in my head, I thought I had another t-shirt on. Like,
that's what happens when you're in a solitary confinement. When you live in one room, your mind starts playing tricks on you.
I have a mate here. I have a lovely girlfriend that takes very good care of me.
Oh, okay, I just remembered this other thing that happened.
Oh, okay.
So we never got in trouble for this. Yeah, sure.
Oh my god.
But we used to like torture this woodshop teacher.
My God.
I actually really liked him, and I got along well with him. But every single day, so he worked in the wood shop, right?
Okay.
And this is in junior high, and he had this big, heavy wooden door.
Yeah.
And then he had these like wooden wedges, which you could like make in 2 seconds, right? Out of scrap wood.
Yeah.
And every single day, we'd walk by and he looked like Mr. Mac. He kind of talked like Mr. Mackey from South Park.
Okay.
And he was kind of like this guy with like a kind of a Weird Al afro and he always wore like a sweater with like a sweater vest thing. He was just kind of like a dorky guy.
Okay.
And we'd just kick the doorstop out of the door every single day, like at the same time when we were all leaving class together, and we'd kick it and we'd go whoosh, and like the door would slam, and then we started stealing the wedges, and every single day.
So you'd steal like the doorstop.
And then the door would slam, and then he'd go and he'd make a new one, and this went on for weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks. And then we like came by one day to like take the doorstop, and then he had like taken like one of those metal ones with a latch.
Yes.
And he had drilled it in.
Yeah.
So the next day we bought a screwdriver to school.
No way! You took the
And
latch.
at lunch we like unscrewed it and then went whack. And then next day he was back to the wooden ones because he's like he knew he was gonna lose in the end of the day. It was like
Did you not ever be like, give me back my fucking wedges? Like, what were you doing with the door stops?
We'd go and there was this alcove with like this radiator, and we like two radiators like facing each other like this, like about where like that wall is and where I'm at. And we had this game of like hockey where you'd go and you'd kick the doorstop at the other opponent, like basically four people acting as a goalie. And then you just try to block the fucking doorstop because it was like this weird place with two doors on the side and then radiators, so it was like this enclosed space. And every single day we'd play like doorstop hockey and just like kick the fucking doorstop.
But after you finished kicking the doorstop around, then what happened to it?
We'd like throw it in the garbage and get a new one the next day.
So every day he had to make
Every
a
single
new
day,
doorstop.
every single day he had to make a new doorstop. And at recess we'd kick the doorstop out. The door would slam shut. He'd probably kind of sigh, you know what I mean? When you're just like, your back rolls over a bit and you're like, oh, probably do that. We'd never like see him. And then he'd probably just go and make a new one, stick it in the door. Next day, wow, it was just Groundhog's Day every single day. Same thing.
Just grinding that cunt down as he grinds the wood on that fucking
it's
fucking
all
doorstop.
symbolism.
He's just thinking about his own mind, his own fucking sanity.
Yeah.
I had a bit of trouble with teachers in school. So I had an art teacher. I forget her name, but she was a bitch, basically. She was hard to work with, and she didn't like me, and I didn't like her. But I think I took it a step too far when one day I said to her, I said, "Miss, you're the type of teacher that would have a student in her class that takes a paintbrush on day one of the year, and every day they come into your class, they slowly, with a ruler, whittle that paintbrush down, day after day, week after week, semester after semester, until the final day of the year, and the tip of that paintbrush is it got the finest point on it, and then they would stab you."
You said that?
Yeah, and
wow.
that got me in a bit of trouble.
Is that before or after Columbine? Like,
I didn't say that I was going to do it. I just said you're the type of teacher that would happen to, because I thought that was funny.
Yeah, you're probably like, somebody might have been planning since day one to come and shoot everybody in school, starting with you.
I just thought that was a funny way to wind her up because she was such a horrible
That's terrifying.
person.
How old were you?
13.
Yeah, you're actually at the age where you could probably kill her. Like
but I didn't.
13-year-old boy.
I didn't want to kill her.
Yeah, but she didn't know that.
That's where the problem lied, because then when I had to defend myself, I was like, I didn't say I was going to do it. I haven't touched any paper.
Yeah.
I didn't sharpen paper.
But you can see why it was an issue.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Absolutely, I see why it was an issue. I just thought it was a funny way to wind her up. I was like, make her think, if you don't stop behaving like this, something might happen to you. But yeah, it was fun. It was a fun time. Did you actually take wood shop at school, all the way through?
Yeah.
What have you done with it since? So I feel like it's the most pointless subject.
No, I think it's really important. I don't know. I just have general maintenance skills that are intuitive.
Like what? What's your most impressive maintenance skill?
I installed 2 doors in my last apartment. Actually, the place with the mice, right?
Okay.
Because I want to play. We have this gigantic living room, so it's like I want to put I hated the fucking cats, so I put up doors so when I could just hang out there at night without the cat coming in or killing mice or whatever. So yeah, but I went to the salvage depot, I got them, or I was just fixing stuff at my landlord's. That's probably more important than any math class I've ever took.
Really?
I don't even know how to do long division. You know what I mean? It's on your phone, calculators. You never need that shit. It's a lie. You don't need to know how to do that. They should give you a calculator at day one. You're like, here's a machine that does the math for you. If you have any questions beyond what the capabilities of this device, you can do that if you
Google
want.
it.
But I think they should start teaching basic math in university when you sign up for a math course, because it's pointless. Fixing stuff around the house, like, oh, your cabinet's a bit loose, you just screw it up with a screwdriver. Learn all that shit in one shot. I think.
I only took 1 year of woodshop class, and we made like a fucking chair, which my chair didn't even fucking work. But like,
Really?
I was so bad at woodshop, right? To the point where I'd have a go at the teacher because he used to chew Nicorette gum, right? But we weren't allowed to chew gum at school. So do you remember when 5 Gum came out? That like flavored gum, 5 Gum. So we'd like have 5 Gum. It tasted fucking nice, and he'd be like, "Spit that gum out," and I'd be like, "Spit your gum out." And he was like, "It's different." I was like, "It's not. If I'm not allowed to chew gum, then you're not allowed to chew gum." And he's like, "But I'm the teacher." I'm like, "But I'm a student."
He was
Yeah.
never like, but I'm an addict. I need this.
Because I was like, "Why do you need your gum so much?" Like, because we knew it was Nicorette gum. We're like, "You addicted, sir?" He was like, "No, I'm not addicted." And we were like, "Are you?"
I can quit anytime I want.
But it was funny just to take the piss out of him, and then so he didn't like me because I was like a smart ass basically.
Yeah.
So one time he was trying to explain to me how to use a chisel, and it wasn't really going down too well, and I was just taking the piss, and then I think I may have like threatened to chop another kid's finger off with a chisel.
So
Just for fun.
you have this history of like
Just for fun.
poisoning people with chemicals.
It's just fun.
Threatening people with like saws, like or whatever.
It's just fun, man.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, you're just a kid. It's just fucking boring. Like, everyone's so vanilla. You
Yeah.
gotta, like, give it a bit of flavor. So, like, he, like, took me outside and he, like, had a go at me. And he was like, he said, if you don't change your attitude, you're gonna end up in prison. And I was like, well, that is quite rich, sir. that is rich. And the funniest thing is that his son went to our school, right? His son was like the star of his class, obviously, right? His son is now in prison for armed robbery. Another one of my teachers went to prison for murder.
Really?
Another woodshop teacher at a different school.
Oh my god.
Yeah, he
They keep taking his doorstop?
No, I'll try and remember the story. I was going to look it up, but basically he was having a bit of rough and tumble sexual relations with this woman that involves her coming to his house. 20 minutes later, he threw her down like a 2-story staircase and then chased her outside and choked her to death in his front yard.
Oh my god. That is
So that's
literally
just-
rough and tumble.
That is rough and tumble.
She tumbled down the stairs. And then
so
he
yeah.
strangles her in a front lawn.
Yeah, he's in prison for 17 years.
Oh my god.
But the fun thing is, his daughter went to our school. So her dad went from being the woodshop teacher at our school to that guy that murdered the woman in his front yard.
So you guys were like, haha, your dad killed somebody.
We sort of just didn't bring it up because she was a really nice girl.
Ugh.
But like everyone just sort of felt bad because we were like, we can't believe that he's killed someone. Like he was our teacher.
Yeah.
Like, it
Was
was
he
like,
nice?
I mean, he was alright. Like he wasn't very standout. Like he wasn't like, hey, but he wasn't like angry or anything. He was just there. He just came in, just did his job, and went home. Like, but he was into some rough and tumble sex shit.
Wow.
Like, you know those weird kinks, like people like being like tied up and beaten and shit.
Yeah.
I don't know if she was into that, but he was definitely into doing that.
Yeah, that's the worst when you're into beating somebody up and they're not.
Just getting beaten.
Yeah.
This podcast is taking a dark turn. Can you finish with a happy story? A happy story. Maybe about animals or your sister.
I do have a sister. She's a...
Happy story?
Yeah, I mean, she's my dad's... she's like half sister. She's like 13.
Okay.
Now I can't think of any stories off the top of my head.
Does she like One Direction?
No. She looks like Bob Marley or something.
Really?
I think.
She's 13 and like Bob Marley.
Yeah.
She's smoking the hooch?
Well, I hope not, but it's legal in Canada.
Not for 13-year-olds.
No.
What was that like when it became legal? Was it like pandemonium? Were people like
No.
trying it just for like, whoa, we can do it?
Literally nothing happened.
Really?
Literally
Spell it
nothing.
out. Spell out exactly what happened.
When it became legal in Toronto, Toronto had these plans in place to have government distribution of weed. So a lot of provinces, the liquor control boards are tied to the government. So it's like this quasi-federal private agency that just like sells alcohol and collects tax money from it.
Mm-hmm.
So that was set to be the plan for Ontario, where Toronto is. But then the Conservative government came in and said, no, that's bullshit, privatize it when they got elected. But then they're...
Privatize the weed market or the
Yeah.
alcohol market?
Weed.
Okay.
Where in that province, the alcohol market is privatized. So they were saying it's going to lower prices, which is like, reasonable in some ways, right? It wasn't really like... Some people were excited, but others weren't. Anyways, so when it happened, no stores had licenses to sell, distribute marijuana, so it was all sold online. And then a postal strike happened at the same time as when it became legal. So like, I went expecting to be like parades down the street of people smoking, and I went to all like the dispensaries where they sold weed over the table. If you
Had a prescription?
you're like, oh, my back hurts, and they're like, here's a prescription from our doctor, and it was just like
He's doing air quotes when he says doctor.
it's just some fucking chill dude in a lab coat, like, what's up, man? Back hurts, all right, and then just like give you like a piece of paper, and then you could buy weed. All those places were shut down because it became legal, so it became illegal to sell weed illegally, whereas there was no law before, except it was just illegal.
Right. Okay.
So all these places that were selling weed illegally, when it became legal, had to stop selling weed because the penalties were way harsher to sell illegal weed.
What?
So when it became illegal, I went to my dispensary where they sell weed, and they're like, we can't sell weed anymore, man. And I was like, what? And then I went to this other place, and like everything was closed down. And then just like people were ordering online, but there's a postal strike, so nobody was getting their weed. And then I went back to Nova Scotia where they had the government weed. And I went into one of the government weed stores, and it was beautiful. It looked like they actually designed it after the Apple Store.
No way.
Yeah, you walk in, it's clean, and they have all these like stations, but instead of like laptops on those cables, it's just giant boxes with like an ounce of weed in it, and like magnifying glasses, and so like these things where you can like stick your nose in and smell the bud. And then this guy comes over and he's like, so what kind of high are you looking for? Like, are you like chilling out tonight, maybe watching a movie, or do you want like maybe like paint something? You know what I mean? And then they kind of like help you get like what you want, and it's fucking great.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
So what's it like being here now?
Well, it's way more expensive. Like I bought weed off this guy, and it was from Canada, which made me upset because it was like 10 times as much. And but it's fine.
How much is it? How much is it to buy in Canada?
Let me think. Maybe like 6 pounds a gram for like good stuff. But here it's 20 for this. It would be about 20 for the same value, or
Right.
for the same quality.
Okay.
So, yeah, 3 times as much. Or no, that's about around 4 times as much. Yeah.
Well, 3 times as much as 18 pounds. So if it's
Sure.
6 is 18.
Somewhere in between 3 and 4.
I can see why you really didn't care about maths in high school.
The only thing I use math for is like
Calculating how to buy drugs.
that's it. That's the only thing.
How much change do I need?
Yeah.
Well, look, Nick, we've done over an hour easily.
Cool.
This has been fun.
Yeah, that was fun.
What would you rate it out of 10?
7.5.
That's less than I was expecting. But
Well, no. When people rate things, everyone's afraid to go under 5. You know what I mean? We're way too generous with ratings.
I like your honesty. Thank you, Nick.